Hello, my name is the CC. Soul Wars are coming back to Runescape. If you don't know what Soul Wars minigame is, it's a team-based minigame where you have to kill opponent avatar as many times as possible per 10 minutes. A very quick step how to start playing this minigame. First, log in into a dedicated Soul Wars world, speak to nomads to begin and complete the Soul Wars tutorial, enter a team waiting room. Once you're in the minigame, you can fight NPCs, players, or the opposite team's avatar. Be sure to keep your activity bar up. Finish the game to be rewarded with Zeal and Zeal tokens, which can be used to purchase rewards. The requirements to play Soul Wars are a total level of 500, 40 combat level, membership needed to access the island. The Soul Wars minigame takes place on an unnamed island near the Phildip Hills. You can access it via portal in Edgeville. Alternatively, you'll be able to use a minigame teleport or a second portal in Ferox Enclave. All members can access the island on any world, even if they don't have the requirements to play the minigame. Upon arrival, you'll find yourself in the Soul Wars lobby on the southern side of the island, within which Nomad can be found. He will explain the minigame to you and allow access to the reward shop. Jagex will tell us more about the rewards later. The lobby also has a bank and a poll booth, as well as the waiting rooms for the minigame itself. You can access the Soul Wars island on any member's world, but you will only be able to enter a waiting room and play the minigame on a small number of designated Soul Wars worlds. There are 2 waiting rooms on the island, one for each team, blue and red. You can pick which team you'd prefer to join, but if your waiting rooms are too imbalanced, if one team is comprised of players with much higher levels, then entry to the stronger team will be blocked. If you don't care which team you join, you can use the green portal to be placed automatically. A game of Soul Wars will either begin every 2 minutes or when both waiting rooms have 60 players. When this happens, players will be pulled from both waiting room and into Soul Wars itself. There must be at least 10 players in each waiting room for a game to start. If there aren't enough players present, the 2-minute timer will be stopped and will restart from the beginning once there are sufficient numbers. If one of the waiting rooms have fewer than 60 players, the number of players pulled from each waiting room will match the count of weaker waiting room. For example, if the blue room has 40 players and the red room has 60 players, 40 players will be pulled from each room into the game. If players are left in a waiting room after a game starts, they'll be given a higher selection priority for the next game. Playing Soul Wars. Once the game begins, both teams have the same objective: kill the opposing team's avatar as many times as possible before the end. Games will last for 10 minutes, but they can end early if a team reaches a total of 10 avatar kills, or if a team's player count drops below 50% of the starting number. Blue team, your avatar is Avatar of Creation. Red teams, your avatar is Avatar of Destruction. Both have the same stats and damage reduction mechanic. Initially, all damage dealt to them will be reduced by 100%, making them immune to all damage, but this percentage can be reduced to 0% by using the Soul Obelisk. The avatars have low defense but high hit points. This means even low levels can damage them, but they will take some time to kill. They attack using melee and will try to target the player in their area with the highest offensive bonuses, who they perceive as the biggest threat. However, their attacks will also hit any other player standing in front of them. Players can be used to block damage from their attacks. Players who are hit will lose some prayer points with the amount depending on the damage done. Upon dying, an avatar will respawn after 20 seconds and will respawn with the 100% damage reduction restored. Bases. Each team has a base located on opposite sides of the map, which are visually different but otherwise identical. Each contains an avatar, a graveyard, and a supply area. All players begin in the game with their team graveyard. The graveyard is safe, can only be accessed by members of their team, and is the place where players respawn. Additionally, players who die will appear there as a ghost and must wait for 50 seconds before leaving using one of the 3 different exit points. Players can collect bandages from the supply area. These can be used to heal 10% of hit points, restore 100 turn energy, and cure all poison and venom, and aren't stackable. Bandages can also be used to heal other players on the same team. Barricades can also be collected from a supply area, but only one barricade can be carried at a time. These can be placed to block players' path. Each team can place down a maximum of 10 and some areas can't have any at all. Barricades can also be used on other players to trade them. Normal trading is disabled in Soul Wars. Barricades can be destroyed by attacking them, burning them, or blowing them up. Speaking of which, explosive potions can be collected from the supply area. These can be used on barricades to blow them up, again, and stackable. Explosive potions can also be used to other players to trade them. Graveyards. Along with the 2 base graveyards, there are 2 additional graveyards closer to the middle of the game map. These begin the game neutral but can be captured by either team. To capture one, a team must have more players in its area than other team for a short period. Once captured, it becomes an additional respawn point for that team. If a team has multiple graveyards, upon that, a player will be sent to the closest one. Once captured, a graveyard can never become neutral again, but it can be instead captured by other team. As with the base versions, both capturable graveyards have 2 different exit points. Players can bury bones in a graveyard. Doing so will increase the damage reduction percentage of their team's avatar. If players bury bones in a graveyard their team doesn't control, they will only get 1/3 of their contribution. Bones can be obtained from fallen players or NPCs. Soul Obelisk and Soul Fragments. The Soul Obelisk is found in the middle of the Soul Wars map. As with the graveyards, the Soul Obelisk can be captured by having more players in its area than the other team for a short period. Again, once captured, it can never become neutral again, but it can be instead captured by other team. The Soul Obelisk can be used to weaken the avatars, lowering their damage reduction percentage. As mentioned above, both avatars reduce all damage dealt to them by 100%, making them immune to all damage. However, this percentage can be reduced down to 0. To do this, a team must sacrifice soul fragments to the Soul Obelisk. This can be done regardless of which team controls the Soul Obelisk, but sacrifices from the team that doesn't control it are only worth 1/3 of the contribution. Soul fragments can be gathered by killing various NPCs found within Soul Wars. Stronger NPCs drop more fragments. If a player is killed, they will drop all of the soul fragments they are carrying, allowing the killer to pick them up. Reward system. A lot of minigames rewards players with a special currency. In Soul Wars case, Zeal. At the end of each game, all players will be rewarded with Zeal based on their participation. Players who have exit Soul Wars early will not receive any Zeal. In addition, an activity bar will be shown on screen. Failure to participate in the game will cause the activity bar to drop to 0 over time, and once there, it will never go up again. Players who have 0 activity will also receive no Zeal. In the original version of Soul Wars, the amount of Zeal rewarded differed depending only on whatever player won or lost. We have changed this and now properly reward those who contribute to the cause. You can now grab Zeal and contribute to your activity bar by killing opposite players. More Zeal is awarded for killing strong players, with little to no Zeal receiving for killing weaker players. Killing the same player multiple times will see the Zeal reward reduced each time in order to prevent the farming of kills. Healing fellow team members. Note that it is not possible to heal team members already at full health. Burying bones. If your team's avatar is at maximum damage reduction, then no contribution is counted. Sacrificing soul fragments at the Soul Obelisk. If the opposite team's avatar has minimum damage reduction, then no contribution is counted. Dealing damage to the opposing team's avatar, capturing graveyards, or the Soul Obelisk. The following will contribute to a player's activity bar but will not be rewarded with Zeal. Killing NPCs, destroying barricades. Once a game ends, a player's final Zeal count will be modified depending on whatever they won or lost, with the winning team getting a 10% bonus and the losing team a 10% reduction. If it's a draw, then there's no bonus or reduction. For every point of Zeal earned, a player will also receive a Zeal token, like Zeal itself. Zeal tokens are a virtual currency that can be spent on rewards in the Soul Wars reward shop. Reward shop. Players will be able to see their current Zeal and Zeal token values when in the shop. The shop can be accessed on any member's world, even if it isn't a Soul Wars enabled world. XP can be purchased in attack, strength, defense, hit points, ranged magic and prayer. Players can only purchase XP for skills in which they are level 30 or above, and the higher the level, the more XP is given. XP can be purchased in bulk, but doing so will not grant any modifiers. Buying 10 lots in one is not different to buying one lot 10 times. XP rates will be comparable to pest control. Players will be able to use zeal tokens to imbue specific items, mainly rings, and improve their effects. These will work identically to ones at Nightmare Zone. However, to prevent the players buying them at the one shop and selling them to other, they will be separable items. Imbues will be priced so as to ensure they take similar amount of time to earn in both minigames. Note that the Nightmare Zone imbues won't be changed in any way. Players will be able to buy Soul Cape. This cape will look like the one worn during the minigame and can be freely switched between blue and red. It will require level 70 prayer to equip and will provide a +8 prayer bonus, which is pretty nice. Zeal tokens can also be spent on an ectoplasmator. When carried in the inventory, this item will grant player experience whenever ghostly creatures are killed. The XP given will scale based upon how many hit points the creature has, similar to how Slayer XP is given. Buying this will require 40 prayer. Lucky Dip. This will give a random item from a new Soul Wars loot table. And the last, you can get an avatar pet. Whenever buying a Lucky Dip, there's a rare chance that the item given will be an avatar pet. This will work like all other pets and can be freely transmogrified to look like either the avatar of destruction or the avatar of creation. This is it for this video. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did, consider liking this video, subscribing for future uploads, and as always, have a nice day.